My friends, and welcome once again to End All Wars. That was kind of a little strange saying 2-2. But yes, right then, so I have decided. I was tempted to actually play the Russians. I was tempted to maybe to start a Revolution Under Siege campaign once again. But to be honest, I do enjoy this game. I really do enjoy To End All Wars. Mostly due to the gigantic scale of the war, and the fact is it's one of the more modern Geod games, so the mechanics are a hell of a lot easier to play with. Also, units aren't displayed in tiny little boxes, but that doesn't mean that I won't be doing any more Revolution Under Siege campaigns or any Spaniard 1936 campaigns. I actually do have a Spaniard 1936 at the moment. I've been having a quick go with that. It's quite interesting so far. And Rise of Prussia in the future, that one I haven't taken a look at as of yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And then in the future, when the Wars of Napoleon are, well, is released, I will definitely be taking a look at that. So yes, this is before the start of the Great War. We have a turn to decide our war plan. And, yes, right then, I am tempted by a few war plans. There is War Plan 20, I do believe, which calls for an immediate offensive through Belgium. So basically, Belgium gets absolutely destroyed from both sides. But I believe I shall go for War Plan 19, actually. So I'll bring that up right for you guys. Right, so this is the current one. So, this is the one that I am interested in. This plan calls for an offensive against Germany, attempted to flank any German attempts to invade Belgium by sending 3 armies through Luxembourg, and the Ardennes. So, basically, during the turn of August 1914, French will gain objectives on Luxembourg, Trier, Bonn, Cologne, and Aachen. Now that will be interesting. I mean, I would be intrigued by the invasion of Belgium. Though I don't know... Well, we wouldn't gain Belgium as an ally, basically, so that's the issue. The front line here is nowhere near as well guarded as the... Well, it is and it isn't. We'll take a look at the terrain here, shall we? Let's take a look at the terrain. We're going to be a hell of a lot better in this campaign, mostly because I'm going to actually pay a lot more attention to things like this. So we can see here that the areas here, this is clear terrain, so basically plains and flat. We have forest here in Longwy and Bria. Now, these hills are fantastic for an anchor point. We have wooded hills over here, which are even better. So you can imagine that would be fantastic. So the weak point really is Nancy. That is the weak point right here. It is also an objective, though it is protected by a river. So it's not that bad. Saint-Mehil is pretty meh. It does have woods though, so it's not quite as bad. It's just the fact of if I surrendered here and withdrew to here, I would have to guard 3 provinces instead of just the one here. As you can see, well, you know what I mean, I have to guard another extra 2. So I think we'll go for a complete shutdown of any attack on the Maginot Line. Is it a Maginot Line? I believe it is a Maginot Line. When was the Maginot Line? My god, oh my god. The Maginot Line was World War II, wasn't it? Let me just... Yeah, okay. It's been a while. I've been listening to audiobooks about ancient civilizations in the Mediterranean, so I've kind of gone off World War I history for the time being. Right, okay. Yep, the Maginot Line is 1929. Okay, I can't remember the name of the defensive line. I imagine it was just basically this, wasn't it? Okay. So we have the Fortress of Verdun. We have Tours, or 40 Tours. I'm going to absolutely butcher these. So we have Nancy, Epinal, and Belfort. Ah, bloody Belfort. Let's take a look at our objectives here. So, there's really... Right, the main objectives here are obviously these fortresses, which is fantastic. We have the fortresses that we can defend. And then the rest of the objectives are behind the river line here, so this is quite important. We could actually definitely use this as a defensive. But I don't think we will have to. So yes, right then. And of course, I don't believe we will have Britain at the start. I'm not entirely sure how it'll work with Britain. But I believe I will use the British Empire to the absolute most. I am definitely going to blockade the Germans. It will increase their morale, but over time it will definitely chip away at them. In the end, it will kill them. They'll run out of resources. And if I can control the German high seas fleet, then that does allow the Russian fleet to come out and play as well. So at least we can try and promote something going on there. The situation in Africa is Well, it will probably be very easy. I'm going to try and bring Portugal in very rapidly. Well, fairly rapidly, so we can use their bases over here. And we could take Southwest Africa. Would have South Africa with the British. Take East Africa, and then after that, there's really not too much left. There's only a few colonies in Africa under direct control of the Germans. In Asia, it should be fairly easy to shut them down. I imagine we'd be able to bring glorious Nippon into the war fairly easily. So we'd be able to take, just basically, there's only like 2 German holdings in the east. So that's fairly easy. Yeah. We are going to have to divide the fleets up. I'll have a really strong fleet, or I'll have a decent fleet to guard against the German high sea fleet. Oh my god. And then the rest we'll have in the Mediterranean to keep the Austro-Hungarians locked down and blockaded if we can. It won't affect the Austrians that much at all, really. Yeah, the Austrians weren't really affected by the blockade anywhere near as much as the Germans. The Germans obviously were affected by the blockades. It wasn't too bad in the first years, but after quite a number of disastrous decisions, namely the one of the slaughter of millions of pigs, which could have been, well, basically, it was to do with grain supplies, I believe it was. It was to do with the foodstuffs that they were feeding to the pigs. The decision was made that rather than give the foodstuffs to the pigs, that they would slaughter the pigs, and it's like, for the time being, they did have a plentiful supply of meat. But, yes, you can feed pigs and you can have more little piglets. And, yeah, that wasn't the brightest idea. They slaughtered millions to save on cereals, basically. Okay, with this glorious music, we shall choose our plan. We are going to go through plan 19. So, the stage is set. Europe is about to erupt in a blaze of war. Okay. And what's going to be interesting is the fact I can't see what the Russians will be doing. So we'll have to hope we can hold on. I am playing the full campaign, basically the historical campaign and the full campaign. In the historical campaign, basically your war plans are already decided. We would have gone for the historical option, same with every other nation. So Germany could definitely go for a powerful offensive against the Russians, so could the Austrians. So we'll have to see how things happen. I believe I will try and send troops into Serbia at some point. That would be quite useful. Obviously this is once my front is stable and protected. Right, so we're going to save the game here, and we shall advance. This is going to be a very long intro episode, and it's quite a lot of talking without anything going on. It is going to take me a hell of a long time to sort out my order of battle, basically my armies and the etc. We need to identify the most beneficial terrain. I mean, you can see with the forests around Belgium and on the French border of Luxembourg, there is a hell of a lot of forest there, whereas in closer to the coast, that's all plains. That's all plains, and that's going to be difficult. That's beautiful terrain for the attacker, and pretty miserable for the defender. It doesn't give any benefit at all. Okay. I do notice that Paris is in fact the shape of France. If you take a look at this, that's definitely France. I mean, yeah, that's Normandy. No, that's Brittany, sorry, that's Normandy. That's definitely in the shape of France. I love how they actually do that. Yeah, that's definitely England. I still love that. It's such a little Easter egg. It's so, like, hidden, and there's Italy. I don't know, I just really appreciate that. And then, yeah, that's kind of the shape of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. That's kind of the shape. Yeah, you kind of got it going on there. That's pretty fantastic. I didn't notice it before, but yeah. There we go, Germany as well. That's really interesting. Okay, right, so the Russians have gone for the Grand Duke plan. Russia launches an early offensive against the Germans to relieve France, but also prepares to launch an invasion of Galicia. So they have gone for the historical option. So 2 armies are deployed to invade East Prussia, and 4 armies to invade Galicia. The French plan, yes, we know about this one, as we are the French. the Conrad plan. So the Austrians have gone for the historical plan as well. Austria faces Serbia while also engaging Russia as a priority. And not exactly the smartest idea, because how can you have two priorities? The Germans have gone for the Mulki plan. Ah! Germany switches the brunt of its offensive to face Russia, transferring the 1st, 2nd, 3rd armies to the east. The 4th, 5th, and 6th and 7th armies are deployed in the west, and Luxembourg is not occupied by German armies. Now, that's pretty interesting as we start off with higher morale here. And, yeah. Huh. German GHQs will be established at Königsberg under Mulki. The 1st and 3rd armies, yeah. Okay. Now that's interesting. Soviet have rejected the ultimatum, of course. So we do not actually have the Brits straight away. Yeah, they are close, so it's going to take a few turns to actually bring them in. That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. It's really strange playing from the other side. Right, so we have our major diplomat. So, yeah. I'm tempted to try and play without the British. Now, that would be very interesting. That would be a very interesting campaign, but I don't believe we shall go for that one. Okay, so we're going to try and bring in Glorious Nippon. We shall try and bring in the Portuguese. So do we have access through Belgium then? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll try and bring the Belgians in. The Wallonians, you know what I mean. Okay. 35% to me. 55, 85, oh, 81. 50-50. Now, Greece would be an absolutely fantastic position. Okay. So we do have a hell of a lot of war supply to start off initially. That's quite impressive. Right then, let's take a look at our armies. Let's turn the music up a little bit more. I do bloody love this music. 40 Paris. Holy shit! Wow! That's a well-defended city. How many men do we have here? We have 39,000 men, 129 cannons just on the forts. Then we have the further reserve of 50,000 men. Then we have another extra garrison of 12,000 men. So, yeah. Holy shit. Okay. So what is the situation with Luxembourg? Where are they? Ah. 100% aligned to the Central Powers. So that's interesting, we've actually declared on the Central Powers. Oh? Huh. That's interesting. I'm just interested in the fact that it shows the Serbian commander, but it doesn't show the Russian commanders. That's somewhat interesting. Okay. Yes, I realise how to do this. Oh, hello. Right, so we have the Algerians over here. That's good to know. Right, we'll take a look at our forces around the globe. Actually, we can do that by going to the log. War production. Right, so these are French national units, these are French North African units. We already need to replace some militias. But that's fine. Oops. Right, okay. So we shall take a look at our fleets. Hide the locked forces, there we go. So we have the Mediterranean fleet over here. That's very powerful, actually. And this is based in Toulon, along with these guys. And then we have a fleet in Cherbourg. Okay. We have some ships in the South Pacific. Okay. So we'll go over here to this fleet. Now, that is a very pompous-looking admiral. Good commander, Fort Runner. Is this Fort Runner? If the admiral is in command, the leader will be adept at running enemy forts. Huh. That's pretty damn good. That's really good, actually. I would definitely be able to use him to try and pass through the Dardanelles. That would be absolutely exceptional. I think what we're going to try and do, when it does eventually come around to, well, if the Ottomans do in fact join, I believe we will bypass the Dardanelles. There's no point attacking Gallipoli. We'll go for the heart of the empire. We'll go for Constantinople. And then we could cut off Thracia from the rest of the Ottoman Turk territory, which would be pretty good. It would definitely cut them off. Okay. So these are just some other little forces here. Okay, so how is our admiral? He's a poor fleet technician. That's not exactly great then, is it, really? I'm really happy to be back in this game. I can't tell you how much I enjoy this game. It's just fantastic. I just love the scale of the conflict. It's such a colossal scale war. Okay. And it's interesting playing from another perspective. It's definitely interesting. Okay, so we have some submarines here. Now, that's good for us. We'll send these submarines to the Mediterranean, I believe. It's a hell of a lot easier for me to guard against the Austrian fleet than it is against the German fleet. And the Germans will have their own submarines, so we'll have to bear that in mind in the Atlantic. Right, poor subordinate. Okay, we'll take you then. Good commander and cruiser hunter. No, there we go. Okay, you'll head to the Mediterranean blockade box over here. You'll be there in 43 days. I would like you to go and passive. Your objective is basically just to blockade the enemy, and that is it. So we do have some French ships down here. So we have the Mediterranean shipping box. We have a French cruiser, which I will send there to guard the shipping. I don't believe we'll have it under threat. Well, I don't believe it will be under threat. Okay. Torpedo boat squadron. Torpedo boat technician. Interesting. For all light warships. We have transports over here. Interesting. Okay. So these forces are locked mostly. Yeah, a lot of these forces will be required to put down any rebellions. Okay. It would have been nice if they rendered Africa. That would have been nice. Like, North Africa would have been quite nicely rendered. But oh well, I suppose it does take up memory, doesn't it? And everything like that. Speaking of that, my new computer parts are... well, have been dispatched today, so I should be able to rebuild my computer for some time in the coming week and next week. I'll have a new Intel 47090K or whatever it is. I was looking at the new Intel 6th generation. It's like they're okay, but you have a base clock of 3.4 gigahertz. It's like, no, I'd rather go with the 47090K or whatever it is, just for the base clock of 4 gigahertz and etc. Okay, so this is our fleet base over here. So we have even more submarines, actually. So I'm going to send these to the Mediterranean as well. We'll make sure we can get a good, effective blockade down there. It's not going to impact them that much, but I do want control down there. Okay. Mining division. We'll have this small flotilla base over here. We do need to guard against any initial advances of the German high seas fleet, as we don't have the British Royal Navy to protect me right now. The Royal Navy is just incredible. Absolutely colossal. Okay. Ooh, wow, they look absolutely amazing. Yes, the French had amazing uniforms. They were very colourful in this period. Absolutely vivid. Okay. Yep, we're gonna have to sort out these armies. I do know that we have a lot of cores here. That's interesting. Overcautious General. Okay. Let's begin the process of sorting this shit out. Right, so this is a... right, so this is actually our Grand HQ then, is it? No, Joseph Joffrey is over here. You look very similar, though. Though you're not a very good general. Wow, we have overcautious generals and we have a reckless general. That's going to be a disappointment. Holy shit, these corps are very well armed. Holy shit. That's absolutely phenomenal. This is light artillery. Right, 2 lights. You have some either medium or heavy artillery. We'll take a look. Right, the Tactician of Elan. What do we have here? This is medium artillery. Okay, that's good to know. I want the medium artillery. I could have these guys form... well, they already are corps, aren't they? What am I on about? Okay, so Tactician of Elan. So our Reckless Commander. Engineer. Okay, we need to formalize an offensive army and a defensive army. And at least in that position, we'll have things sorted out in a much better way. Okay, you're hot-headed. You do have some munitions, so I'm going to say that, put that in the Grand Army. Okay, you're fairly powerful because you have a... Oops. God damn it. Okay. I wish I could rename this. That would be quite nice. Right, so these are reserve infantry. So that brings us to 151. To 51 command points, sorry. Okay. Right, so these are full professional units. Right, that is the issue. It's like with these support units, I do lose some of that. Defensive fire. Right, so we'll turn... Well, that's the issue. I can't have one of those guys either. How unfair. Only 3 elements. Right. Really? Well, that's unfortunate. It doesn't like the combination, does it? Okay, we'll go for that then. He's pretty fantastic. I do like the Tactician of Elan. Right, 91,000 men. Okay, you have medium artillery. I am going to take your medium artillery and put that into the XTRG. I don't even know how to say that. I don't even know where to begin saying that. So, yes. I think what we'll do is we'll take the core commanders and we'll just put them in here or something like that. Which is probably a good idea. You are a hothead, so you're not exactly top of my list. You are a 211. I imagine they're all going to be 211s, yeah. 211s. Fair enough. Do we have any with any traits? No, we do not. We do not. Okay. So we'll just combine the cores over here. And then I'll sort them out. This is actually, I suppose, a decent tutorial. If you're learning how to do this sort of thing. Right, the aeronaut. Okay. Hothead, poor commander. Well, he's overcautious, actually. Well, that's not a problem due to the fact our army commander is a hothead as well, so it's not going to affect us, really. So I'll put him in here as well. So we'll grab some medium artillery. Combine those units. There we go, so we engineer and defensive engineer. Yeah, the cavalry is interesting. Okay, what are we at now? So we're at 51. So that would take a few out. Yeah, this is only 2,200 cavalry. It is really not that much. So if this is 12 command points, but I'm only gaining about 2,400 troops, and that's really not worth it, in my opinion. I'm going to take more professional infantry any day. Do we have any more medium artillery? No, I suppose we are out of medium artillery. Okay. Okay, so that brings us to about 115,000 men. That's a good amount of men. We could afford some more artillery in this army. There we go. So we're at our command point limit. We do have these planes over here. Balloon. We do need to see if we have any generals or anybody worth promoting. Or anybody who is promotable. I don't think there will be off the bat. Yeah, screw it. We'll have this guy in as well. He might be overcautious, but at least I can use him to get some of these support elements in. No, we can't combine with you, can we? Yeah, that increases the cohesion. Okay, so he's basically in charge of our artillery then, isn't he? It would be good to have the balloon, actually. Yeah. No, rail. Yeah, we're absolutely out of rail capacity. Okay. For a malice of 13%, we do have an army of about 120,000, 684 cannon. Though, let's see. I would like to balance this on the command point limit. Right, so the interesting thing is, if we put him in there, we in fact go over this. So that's very interesting. So I suppose there's really not any point to having him in there if we can balance things like this. We'll take the, Did that actually affect things? It did. Oh, they do have combat power actually, so that's fairly useful. Okay. So we have 2 munitions-free supplies. We do need more supplies in this army as we are going to be doing, conducting an offensive. Let's put them in the wrong army. Oh, we do have some medium artillery there. Okay. Okay, let's swap this round. Give it to him, as he's not the hothead. These 2 reserves could go over here. Do we have any professional troops? Right, we have professional troops here.